Welcome back to a new video, everybody. In this video, I wanted to compare the AYN Thor with the 3DS. And I'm doing this because it's pretty obvious that the AYN Thor took a lot of inspiration from the Nintendo DS, and it's not that crazy to buy one over the other. You might be thinking the obvious, well, the AYN Thor is way more powerful, bigger, better screen, whatever, and that's all true, but you can't really get them right now. Like, if you ordered one right now, you'd be waiting months to get one, and that's because they're doing pre-orders and batched shipments. So I think they're on batch 7 right now. So they're very difficult to get your hands on. I mean, in the same vein, the 3DS is also very hard to get your hands on, only because they don't sell them anymore. That being said, there are way more of them in secondhand markets. So Facebook Marketplace, eBay, Kijiji, whatever. You can get one a lot easier than getting a Thor. Maybe not new, and they are very expensive, but they're actually pretty comparable to the AYN Thor's price. So in terms of bang for your buck, AYN Thor is the way to go, but if you want something to play 3DS games on right now, and even DS games, Game Boy games, and some ported games, the 3DS could be an option for you. Now, I picked up this 3DS here from my local card shop, actually. They also do retro gaming consoles and games, and I originally got it because I wanted to be able to move Pokemon onto Pokebank, and you can't do that with the AYN Thor. Essentially, this is acting as a server so that I can keep all of my Pokemon that I obtain through emulators, like on the Thor, and then use them elsewhere in other games. So that's kind of the main reason I got it, but I've actually found myself playing it a lot. It's a lot smaller and a lot more portable, and you can see that just by looking at the sheer size difference here. Now, the footprint it's not that crazy, and honestly, the Thor is probably a lot more comparable to the 3DS XL. This is the new Nintendo 3DS, not XL version. But once you look at it on the side, you'll see there's a significant size difference here. Like, I would argue that the AYN Thor is almost not pocketable. Like, I don't know who is walking around with pockets big enough for something like this, whereas the 3DS is a lot more low-key, easier to bring around. I don't feel like I need to baby it, I guess. I'm not worried about hurting it in any way. It feels very durable and dense, I guess. Whereas the Thor, if I break this, that's a GG, that's game over. But obviously, once you open it up, it is safe to say you can already tell where the better experience is going to be just by looking at those screens. You have 2 OLED screens, AMOLED screens on the Thor, and I believe these are just LCD on the 3DS. Now, some models have IPS LCD. I'm not entirely sure which this one is. This was used from the game store that I bought it from. It didn't even come with a stylus. I actually had to order my own. I got these little styluses from AliExpress, and it came with like 10 of them. So I'm never gonna have a stylus problem again. But yeah, it also came with top and bottom panels. They were like Mario themed, and I swapped them out for plain black ones that I also ordered on AliExpress. So I do like the customizability that you kind of get with the original 3DS. Now, the 3DS XL does not have this like paneling system. I think if you wanted to customize a 3DS XL, you would need to swap the shell entirely. But yeah, you can even see, like, if you look real close, you can see all the scratch marks along the part that I did not replace. So this is new, already fingerprinted to holy hell, but this part is not new. There you go. Yeah, that's anyway, I thought I'd make this video to do a couple of game comparisons. Now, I only have a couple games to try out. We're just gonna compare some 3DS games here. This is a modded 3DS, so I was able to bring my Pokemon save, Pokemon Omega Ruby save from my AYN Thor over to my 3DS. And the way that works is there's an SD card in this, and there's also software where you can turn this into an FTP server, so you can basically just transfer files over wirelessly. It's not fast, but it works. And since this thing doesn't have a USB-C port to plug it into the computer, it's kind of your only option unless you want to take out the SD card, which is a real pain, because you need to take off these 2 screws right here, pop this whole back piece off, and then take out the SD card. So I'm going to boot into Omega Ruby on both systems. And as you can see, the emulator does take longer to boot up, but this is actual hardware that the game was designed to run on. So, oh, it's not even that much faster, actually. I think that's really close. Huh. I haven't actually tried this side by side before. I do get this freezing here because I had that problem. I don't know if you remember the issue with Mudkip, the texturing issue. Maybe you've had this problem before trying to emulate some of these games, but a lot of the water Pokemon in this game were just like bleach white. There was no color to them at all. And there was a way to fix it. I had to flick off a setting. Oh, what was it? Like something maybe hardware I don't remember what the setting was. I did it so long ago now. It did fix it, but it introduced these freezing instances in the title screen, mainly just in the starting graphic, and you'll actually see it here. I think it freezes right on the main title screen here as well. I could be wrong. Oh no, I guess it's fine. All right, press start. Okay, and you can see it is the same save, and there we go. We are in. First off, we have performance on the Thor. And I am not running any mods, so this is just the default. And it runs very smooth. I want to say it's 30 FPS. Now, that's one thing about the Thor is you do get emulation benefits, like being able to fast forward. Turbo speed, they call it in Azahar. And this has been really helpful, like just skipping through dialogue that I already know what they're talking about and I don't care. It's really nice. I have it bound to my right trigger here, so I can just hit the right trigger if I want to speed up, and I can hit it again if I want to slow back down. But yeah, as you can see, the obvious, the screens are beautiful on this thing. For 3DS emulation, you have a much bigger screen up here as well. But one thing to note is that the bottom screen is a touch screen the same way that the top one is, kind of like a phone's touch screen where it senses your fingertips. Now on the 3DS, that's not the case. You can touch things with your fingers, but it's less sensitive, I guess is the word. Like it almost works better to touch things with your nail, like a hard tip. But if you push hard enough with your finger, it is fine. But I do find myself using the stylus in this game, and I kind of like it. As you can see, the screen is a lot less saturated on this device. It's a bit more washed out. But like I was saying, I do like using the stylus. It's honestly, like, it's a lot easier to type, I find. Like, you don't have to type very often in this game. It's like refreshing to have the stylus again. I had a DS when I was a kid and I only bought this like a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I gotta say the stylus is nice. But that being said, that is not something that's going to stop me from playing games on the Thor. I have been playing this Pokemon on the Thor mainly because I've been streaming it, and there's no way to really capture what you are playing on a 3DS without a hardware mod by adding a capture card to it, and I don't have the skill set to do that, so I haven't. But with the Thor, you can just plug it in with USB-C, and there's software that I use. It's called Dual CPY, and it lets you display both screens as windows on your PC if you're plugged in through USB, and I just put it all through OBS and stream it. That way the viewers can see everything that I'm looking at. No way to do that with the 3DS, so I do the gaming at home on the Thor, and I do gaming when I'm not at the house on the 3DS mainly. If it's a 3DS game, I'll play it on the 3DS if I don't need to stream it or put it on the PC. That being said though, there is one game that I definitely prefer playing on the Thor, and that is The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D. And there's a reason for that. I find the circle pad is not nearly as comfortable as the analog sticks that come on the Thor. Now, I wasn't actually able to get my save over to the 3DS for Ocarina of Time for some reason, so I am just at the starting zone on the 3DS, but you'll get the idea. So on the 3DS, for example, it's very circle pad dependent, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, as well as the bumpers. You need to use those a lot in order to change your view. The left bumper to change your view and the right bumper for your shield. And it's not quite as comfortable. It's just not quite as comfortable. To be fair though, my circle pad, whoever owned this before me, whatever kid, just was straight chewing on this thing. Like, I don't know how this happened. I don't know what game he was playing to do this to his circle pad, but I also have a new circle pad on the way from AliExpress. So we'll see how installing that goes. I'm a little scared because I gotta take the whole thing apart and they're pretty expensive. But back to the game itself, you can see here, bigger screens, more vibrant, obviously. God, I'm gonna get thrown in jail, aren't I? That's okay. I'm in this part where I gotta hide from the guards, and they just throw you in jail when they catch you. But anyway, I have my two bumpers here, and it's also not that comfortable, but at least I have more space, I guess. It's kind of hard to explain why it's more comfortable. It's like it's too thin on the bottom half on the 3DS, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, the button size as well is quite a bit different here. You can see the bumper on the Thor versus the bumper on the 3DS being quite a bit smaller. But yeah, and I also, this is not the sort of game that I like to just pick up and drop. Sometimes I go to my parents' place for dinner, and I don't want to just start trying to play Ocarina of Time. It's like you got to sit down and focus, I guess. Whereas Pokemon, you can pretty like mindlessly play that game. So that's kind of why I've been using the 3DS for Pokemon and the Thor for Ocarina of Time. Now, which one would I recommend, I guess? And I think I have pros and cons for both. For the 3DS, I would say the pros are the size and the portability. Now, it'll be a little bit different if you get a 3DS XL, of course, but this, to me, this is the perfect size. If the Thor could be this size, which that is a tall ask, that is a tall order, and I'm not surprised. Like, they did a very good job packing everything that they did into this size handheld, but this is just more comfortable to have in your pocket, to carry with you, to not worry about, whereas the Thor comes with a whole carrying case. It's almost on Steam Deck level in terms of portability if it's coming with a carrying case. Now, it's not. Like, the Steam Deck, I still have one right here. Shout out to my buddy AJ, who still hasn't bullied me into giving it back yet. Like, the Steam Deck is significantly bigger, but I find myself still treating the Thor like it's a PC handheld. I'm being very careful with it. I'm keeping it in its little carrying case, and it takes up a ton of space in my backpack. I took it on my trip with me, and I used it quite a lot on the plane rides and ferry rides, and it wasn't as easy as pulling it out and opening it. And I think that's because I'm being overly protective of it, just because it's like a rare piece of technology. Like, it's hard to get. It's so hard to get a Thor right now. And if anything were to happen to it, I would be devastated. So I think that's mainly why it's been feeling like it's hard to put away and pull back out and put away and pull back out, because I feel like that's when you have like an accident where you drop it and destroy everything. Whereas with this thing, I really don't see how I could even break this thing. Like, maybe if I get really mad, I'd snap it over my knee like those kids used to do with them, or with the old Game Boy SPs. Anyway, portability is a big pro for me on this. Very skinny, small, and it fits in your pocket. It's really nice to carry around. You hardly even notice you have it on you. It's smaller than some phones. Like, is it smaller than my phone? There's my phone. Wow, almost the exact same size. My phone is a little bit taller, but obviously the 3DS is quite a bit thicker. That's what I mean by pocketability. The Thor is not on that level. Another pro, I would say, is the stylus. I like using the stylus on the DS. I might be biased to that only because I started out with a Nintendo DS. I was used to the stylus. I feel like people today, if you didn't have a DS or 3DS growing up, you probably won't care that much about the stylus, but I remember there being games that heavily depended on you using a stylus, and I don't know if just using your finger would have the same effect. Like, I remember playing Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. I still have it, actually. And I remember just like ruining, like I would burn through styluses trying to play this game, because you run faster the harder you like rub the stylus into the bottom screen. It was a hardware destroying game. I mean, this, like, I abused the hell out of my DS trying to play this game, right? And I don't know what that would be like on the Thor, because the Thor, like, both screens are OLED, like phone style touch screens that senses the tips of your fingers. It doesn't pick up a stylus, and I'll show you. If I open this and I'm in Ocarina of Time here, and I want to open my items, that won't work. The stylus is just not gonna fly. It needs to be your finger, as if it's like an iPhone. And if you have a stylus, you can try it yourself. If you try to use the stylus on your phone, your touchscreen phone, it won't work. It is a special type of screen that the Nintendo DS's use, and it feels different too. Like, it almost has a little bit of like flex to it, but it's like, if you look at it, it looks like it's inset deeper. I don't know. This is just me trying to understand technology I don't understand again, and I should probably stop before I spread complete misinformation. But what I do know is that styluses do not work on the AYN Thor. There are special styluses you can get, both by AYN and third-party companies, that do work on typical phone-style touchscreens, and I've seen people use those and be quite happy with them. So that is an option, but there is no hole to put a stylus in on the Thor. So you would have to either attach it on the outside somewhere. I've seen people do that with the AYN branded stylus. It comes with like a little loop that you can stick to the Thor and just put it in. But yeah, where was I? Pros of the 3DS. Another one is cameras. I don't use cameras, and I haven't wanted to use a camera on my Thor, but it's kind of nice. I have the option on the 3DS, and I don't know why. I remember cameras being used for things on the 3DS. I don't remember which games really used them. I know there was like an AR game. I think I actually have it here. Yeah, this thing, Face Raiders. I don't remember particularly loving this game or this AR experience or whatever it was. But yeah, I guess it's kind of nice that you have a face camera as well as 2 back cameras here, and you have 0 cameras on the Thor. So something to consider depending on what games you plan on playing, I guess. I can't even think of one that requires you to have a camera, but that's just a core difference. And it's kind of nice that you have this just in case something does use it, I guess. So not much of a pro, I guess. It's kind of just it's a neat fact, I guess, about the 3DS versus the Thor. That's just something that you will have with the 3DS that you won't have with the Thor. And the last pro, I would say, is that this is official hardware. So these games you're trying to emulate, this is the system that they were designed to run on. So you do have the 3D slider. That probably looks crazy for you on camera. Yep. You have the 3D slider, the Street Pass stuff, Me Maker, whatever. Now you can get all that, I believe, through Azahar if you can move 3DS files over to your Azahar system. And I think I did a video. Did I do a video on that? Or was I going to and then I didn't? I think I did do a video on that. I'm pretty sure. It's been a while. I haven't uploaded it in a while. My bad. Anyway, I like the idea of playing games on the hardware that they were designed for, but the cons, like the screens, are not great. Like this came out in what, 2014, 2015, and this is the best 3DS you can get in terms of like power. The 3DS XL, I don't know if that's running a better chip or a worse chip or the same chip. I thought it was the same chip, but either way, it's old technology. It's old technology. You are not going to be able to play PC games or Switch games or even GameCube games. Like all the emulation beyond 3DS is not going to be able to happen on here. Like this can emulate regular DS, Game Boy Advance, and the odd like port designed for 3DS. So there are some games that have been ported so you can play them on the 3DS. And I've heard good things about a lot of them. I haven't tried any. I did download Geometry Dash, which is, I think it was originally an app, like a mobile app. And it's a pretty fun game. I haven't tried it on here yet, but yeah, there is a good community around the software that you can put on this, especially since they shut down the eShop. But yeah, like you don't get, the ergonomics are worse on this. You don't get a second D-pad. You have the C stick here, which I have yet to run into a game that uses it even. But for the most part, you are just using this circle pad, which feels worse than the analog stick on the Thor for sure, but it's not as bad as you'd think it would be for how big this is. They did a good job with that part, I think. It's actually funny because these are just 2 very creative ways of handling the analog stick problem. The Thor insets a scoop for the analog stick to sit in, so it's basically flush, the same way the C stick is. So it only comes out a few millimeters there, whereas this here is the same. The difference though being this is actually just flat, whereas here you have a full analog stick. So I just think that's kind of neat how creative they can be with some of these clamshell designs. But yeah, those are my main cons. Honestly, I don't really have any other complaints about the 3DS. Battery life could be better. The battery life on the Thor I find is way better. That could have to do with the size of the battery. That could have to do with the age of the battery in this. Like, I don't know what the battery health looks like on this. I do have a battery health app that I have yet to check because I'm scared that it's going to be shit and I'm gonna need to order a new battery. I think all in all, the 3DS is a excellent system, and if you can't get your hands on a Thor, I recommend it. I think it's great. If you don't want to emulate anything beyond 3DS, you don't really need the Thor, honestly, even though it is a very cool piece of hardware. Now, the pros and cons of the Thor. Obviously, we have the OLED screens. That's the biggest thing for me. I think it is so nice having an OLED screen. It's kind of hard to play games on things that don't have them these days. Like, it's like once you've seen it, it's hard to go back. It's like once you have like 120 FPS, it's like 60 looks awful, right? So there's that. Better ergonomics. We have actual triggers here. You can see on the back, triggers and bumpers, and the analog sticks are huge. Like, I love having full access to analog sticks. Hardware aside, we're running Android. So the possibilities, like, we have way more room for messing around here. I'm running Cocoon 1, is it 1.0 or what version of Cocoon am I running? Yeah, it's 3.0. So Cocoon 3.0 actually just came out 2 or 3 days ago now, and it's great. They added this new control panel feature up here, so I can change the brightness on the fly, which is really nice. Now, obviously, I could still do that just in the AYN settings, but ideally, I would like all of this to be controlled by Cocoon. Now that's a tall order, but this is a good start. Up here, having all this up here is a great start. They also changed the all apps view, so it's like they're relying less on Android functionalities. Like when you looked at all of your apps on the Thor, it would give you the Android layout. So the same thing you'd see on a phone running Android 13 to look at all your apps. And there's a bunch of other things that they've added. I've yet to go into it too much, but they have like a themes manager, screenshot manager, and the obvious pro is access to other systems that aren't 3DS and below. Like we got Wii, PS2, PS1, GameCube, Switch, and even some PC games that don't run bad at all, like very playable stuff. As for cons with the Thor, the only con I really have is in comparison to the 3DS, the size. The size of the 3DS is refreshing. I miss when handheld consoles were small. I miss when phones were small. Like everything all the portable tech seems to be getting bigger, and I really enjoyed the small tech. But that being said, when it comes to Android handhelds, for the power you're getting, this is the smallest one you can get. And I don't think I'd be able to give up my Thor and settle with just a 3DS. As for why you might want a 3DS over a Thor, like I said before, you can actually get them, but that being said, they're actually really close in price, closer than you would think for hardware that's over 10 years old. The 3DS, I got mine, I think, for $450 or $400 Canadian, and I got my Thor for 500 Canadian. So weirdly close in price, and I think the 3DS prices really took off because the eShop closed and everyone started modding them, and people realized, okay, this is an actually stellar machine. Like when you have access to the entire 3DS library for free, essentially, if you mod it and you go that route, I mean, it's a good deal. So it's hard to ignore that part, but I think it's definitely having an effect on the price of the handheld. So yeah, what do you guys think? I mean, I love my 3DS and I love my Thor, and if I had to give up one, it would probably be the 3DS, but I've been finding it very refreshing to just have a easy access handheld that can sit in my pocket and I don't have to worry about it the same way I worry about the Thor. Now, the longer I own the Thor for, probably the less I'll be so protective over it, and maybe I will just start stuffing it in my pocket and not giving a shit about it. But as of right now, it is my child, and I will not be putting it in my pocket. It will go in its nice little carrying case, its hard case as well, so that it doesn't get broken. Anyway, I apologize for not uploading very often, everybody. I'm going to try to do one video a week again. Took a little break. I just had like no ideas, so I didn't know what to make videos on. I should do another testing video. I do have a lot of requests, and I do have an ongoing list of games that I'm going to test. The trouble is a lot of them I do not own. Now, that being said, I did pick up Pal World recently because I've been on this Pokemon kick, and Pal World released a 1.0 version that looks crazy. So I might give that a test on the Thor to see how it runs. So if you guys have any other games that I may not have hearted or liked, feel free to drop those below. And yeah, that's the plan. Next video will be a testing video. As usual, I stream almost every day on Twitch, so you can find me there at LiamA6. And if you have any questions, you can drop them there as well while I'm streaming, and I'd be happy to show you my Thor and answer any questions I can. But yeah, guys, again, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Let me know what you think, 3DS or Thor. What do you like better? Do you have one? Do you have the other? Do you have both? What do you, let me know. I like talking about this stuff because I'm a nerd and a loser. Anyway, thank you for watching. I appreciate it, gamers. Goodbye.